Hey, in this video, I show you exactly how to leverage your platform, what you're doing, and how to leverage it to build relationships. Welcome. Thank you for watching, and we're going to talk about how to leverage what you're doing to build relationships, to gain credibility and authority, and what you should be doing and what the industry is doing. And so what I'm going to talk to you about is everything that I do and things that I know about. So one of the things that you need to be doing to leverage, right, is using the mediums that everyone is using, or being in the trends that everyone is using. For example, podcasts. Everybody's talking about podcasts. I can build a podcast business, how to monetize a podcast, how to be a guest on a podcast. Like, this is like the new thing. Like, just like cryptocurrency was the new thing. And everybody said, buy my programs. I'll teach you how to be a crypto. Buy my this and buy this and buy this. And everyone's coming out with these programs. And everyone's coming out with whatever. It's the trending topic. Podcasts will probably be around for a while, but this is the trending topic. So let's talk about it. How do you leverage to get into podcasts? For example, if you are an author, there are author-specific podcasts. So find an author-specific podcast. Like my buddy Matt Rafferty has the Author Inside You podcast. If you are an author, this is a podcast that you need to be on. So what you will do is you will take your book, okay, whatever, like you take your book, and you will then send that to Matt Rafferty. Matt Rafferty will look at your book and feature it on the show. You will be a guest, and it will be featured on the show. You send him a gift. So you use your book, right? And this right here is Douglas Vermeen's book, Know Your Audience. It's an amazing book. I just happen to have it sitting here. You'll take your book, and you will mail it over to like Matt Rafferty. And what you'll do is say, hey, I'd love to be a guest on your show. Here's a free copy of my book. So now you're leveraging your book to get on podcasts. If you are somebody who has an addiction book, you can send that book as a free gift to the host and say, review it. And if you like it, I'd love to be a guest on your show. Here's how you can leverage, once you're on the program, here's how you can leverage that podcast or that episode to get on more shows. You ask the host, hey, do you know anybody else that I should be talking to? Can you make an introduction to two hosts that I can be a podcast guest on? And they will get you in touch and email connect you with 2 or 3 or however many podcasts that they think that you should be on. Then in return, say, and now what can I do for you? So if you yourself have a podcast, you should be having, like Matt Rafferty or anybody else that I've mentioned, you should be having them on your show. You can leverage, I am a show host of Life Transformation Radio. I take my show and say, hey, Mark Crandall with the Purpose Chasers podcast. If you're not following him, you absolutely need to follow Mark Crandall with the Purpose Chasers podcast. I say, hey, Mark Crandall, I would love to be a guest on your show. Would you like to be a guest on my show? And so he comes and be a guest on my show, and I be a guest on his show. And so how that works is we're leveraging each other's shows to be a guest on the person's show that we want to be on. So if somebody has a podcast, you're like, hey, I have a podcast. We should totally guest swap. And so you're leveraging your platform to get on their platform and vice versa. You using somebody else's platform isn't for facetious reasons. It's, I'm trying to grow, you're trying to grow, let's help each other out. Zig Ziglar always said, if you help enough people get what you want, or you get what they want, you'll eventually get what you want. Totally messed that up. If you help enough people get what they want, you in turn will get what you want eventually. So if I want to be on somebody's podcast, I can say, hey, I'm the host of Life Transformation Radio. I'd love to be on your show. Would you be willing to guest swap? If they say no, then all right, awesome. Have a nice day. You leverage what you have. So if you have a book, if you are a speaker, you want to be on speaker podcasts. And then you leverage that show when you go to an event planner and say, hey, I'd love to be booked at your event. I would love to be booked at your event. I have been featured on this, and this speaker podcast. I know what I'm talking about. Or if you, let's say that your topic is, most of it's business or whatever. Let's say it's like I met Rachel at the Outlier Podcast Festival, and her whole thing is videographers and photographers. She builds contracts for them. She builds contracts for photographers and videographers. All right. So here's what you do. You then, as someone who does this, you go to that host of Want to Be a Photographer podcast, right? Want to Be a Photographer podcast, whatever. And you say, hi, I build business contracts for videographers and photographers. What I will do for you is, if I am a guest on your show, I, if you don't already, will build you a free contract that you can use. As being a guest on your show, I will do this for you. So you're giving to the host. By the way, host, can you introduce me to 2 or 3 other podcast hosts that talk about videography and photography business? They introduce you, you then to that host give them free contract, whatever, template, whatever. So you can leverage your skills and knowledge to get on other shows by gifting things to them. Then when you're on the show of photographers, videographers, you then say, hey, if you want to have a 30-minute call with me to talk about this contract, contact me at Calendly, Acuity, schedule once. And so once you're on the show, you are scheduling calls. You want to absolutely leverage that podcast to get people, the listeners, onto a call with you. And you've already prearranged this with the host. Don't go just spamming somebody's audience, because us podcast hosts, we are really, really tight-knit with our audience, and we are very protective of our audience, right? Also, you can leverage your email list against somebody else's email list. Let's say you're on an online summit. So you are going to be featured on an online summit. You email your email list, I'm going to be on an online summit. They are going to absolutely email to their list, but you can cross promote absolutely through each other's email lists. Leverage what you have. Once you leverage everything, then you start building relationships. For example, I know that certain people like certain things. Like, I was in Chicago and Michael Marcial was speaking there. We've talked online. We've never met in person, but we've talked online, Michael Marcial and I. So Michael Marcial is the founder of the 5-Figure Work Week. If you are not in his group, holy freaking crap, you need to be in the Facebook group 5-Figure Work Week. He's also going to do a 5-figure cruise, and us speakers are going to teach you how to have a 5-figure work week. If you want a 5-figure work week, search hashtag 5, the number 5, figure cruise, and then you'll see a bunch of posts and you can get involved and, whatever, but you can search for the 5-figure cruise. Anyway, Michael Marcial, go follow him, go friend request him, go whatever. He's amazing. I went to Chicago to go speak at a business innovation conference. Michael Marcial was one of the keynote speakers. I brought with me a shirt that said Legends Never Die, and it was a picture of The Sandlot, the movie The Sandlot. And we've had conversations about what we like and things. I knew that he liked that stuff. So I bought a shirt, I brought it with me to Chicago, and I handed it to him. And I said, man, I really appreciate you, everything. Here's a shirt for you. Here's a gift for you. All right. He loved it, everything. It wasn't like, now give me what I want. It wasn't even like that. I want to gift to them. That shirt is a gift from me. In the future, he's going to remember that. If he does something for me, I'm going to remember that. When you give of yourself, that is the ultimate leverage. And not leverage in a bad way. Like some of the spam people that are going to be like, well, I'm just going to buy free gifts and expect things. I do things not out of expectation. When I do something like that, I don't expect anything in return. However, what I'm doing is putting good karma into the world and giving of myself, which is the ultimate sacrifice and ultimate freaking leverage. So every event planner that books me to speak, I bring a thank you card with me and I give them a thank you card to say, thank you for booking me. I give the event planner a thank you card. And I give the decision maker, if somebody different, a thank you card. Again, leverage. You can create leverage by gifting things to people and then building a foundational relationship right after that. So if you're not building relationships, if you're not giving of yourself, then fail. One last thing I want to talk about is the value that you bring. That is also leverage. If you look at any of my posts on social media, you will see that I give massive amounts of value. That is leverage. I'm giving. Okay? I'm giving everything away for free. I'm giving all of my value. I'm giving all of my knowledge. And then I had a call earlier with Sarah. Sarah then posts, and I give a bunch of value in the call. Sarah then posts on my Facebook thanking me and giving me a written testimonial, which then I can leverage against people that I want to work with. Well, look at Sarah who wrote this testimonial. Here's boom. When you are a speaker, you need to be getting testimonials from the audience. You need to be getting testimonials from the event planner. You then leverage those by putting those on YouTube and Facebook. Everybody knows that you can take your YouTube testimonials and actually make like a Facebook, like on the side, like on the left side, where it has like your Facebook, like your list of crap that Facebook allows you to do on your page. You know that you can put your YouTube testimonials, like a link, a legit link to like your YouTube testimonials. If you don't know that, contact myself or Trish Lito, who, if you don't know who Trish Lito is absolutely phenomenal with 5-minute lives. Trish Lito is absolutely phenomenal, but we know how to do that. So, you can actually put your YouTube testimonials on the left column of Facebook by setting it up through the settings. You can actually click on it and then it'll take you to YouTube. From Facebook, it'll take you to YouTube where they can view your testimonials. You can just label the tab testimonials and then they click on the testimonials. It goes all the way back to YouTube and goes to your YouTube page. Not sure if anybody knows that. If you don't know that, then post below, hashtag didn't know that. Private message me, whatever, and I'll tell you how to do it. But anyway, you take those YouTube testimonials, and then you send those to event planners. First of all, you do not need a one sheet in order to get booked as a speaker. Period. The end. Everybody can go home now. You do not need a one sheet. Anybody who tells me to my face or on social media that, oh, you need a one sheet, and one sheets are great, and I'll $25 get you a one sheet, kiss my ass. You do not need a one sheet. Anybody who tells you that you need a one sheet, I don't care who they are. Fucking Tony Robbins can tell you that you need a one sheet. I will tell him to his face, you're full of shit. Anybody who tells me that you need a one sheet to get booked as a speaker, you are full of shit. So anybody listening right now, if anybody ever tells you you have to have a one sheet to be a speaker, tell them Sean Douglas says you're full of shit, and then have them come talk to me, and I'll tell them to their face that they are full of shit. Listen to me very carefully. You are full of shit. You do not need a one sheet to get booked as a speaker. So stop telling people that. Me and Lewis Creamer, who is an amazing, smart as crap. Oh my God, she's so smart. Speaker, who wrote the book, Book More Business for Speaking, right? Her and I go back and forth all the time. She swears by the one sheet, and I'm like, you're full of crap. But she's like, no, you need a one sheet, and she swears by the one sheet. I think that one sheet is a waste of time. Nobody. Look, I have some right here. This is somebody's one sheet that they gave me. Most of the one sheets get thrown away. So do business cards. Business cards usually at the end of the event get thrown away. Okay? This one sheet that people give you, these one sheets, right? Most people just throw them away. They'll contact somebody because they want the email address and they'll throw the one sheet away. This one sheet is not going to get you booked on a stage. Here's what gets you booked on stage: testimonials and video of you speaking. Period. The end. Everybody can go home now. Video of you speaking and testimonials of you speaking is what gets you booked. Period. The end. We can all go home. Do not sit there and spend tons of money on a one sheet and getting your website so pretty clean, because that's not what books you either. Video of you speaking and testimonials from events that you've spoken at. So event planners will come to me and says, oh yeah, send me all your stuff over. I'm like, here's my bio, here's my headshot, here's video of me speaking, all in one email. Here's my highlight reel. I don't care. Some people get hung up on words. I don't care if it's a sizzle reel, a freaking highlight reel, a speaker reel, a whatever reel. I don't give a crap what you freaking call it. Doesn't matter. The words don't freaking matter. I call it a highlight reel or a speaker reel or a fucking sizzle reel or fucking whatever. Make one of those by compile and actually get a videographer to make you, like, invest in stuff. But you can leverage past events by, hey, event planner that I just crushed your stage. Who else do you know that would hire me to speak? Who else do you know that would hire me to speak? And then ask that event planner to introduce you to people. And then get a testimonial from that event planner. If you're good enough, they'll give you a testimonial. If you're good enough, they'll invite you to their network and to their friends and whatever else. Right? So do that. Leverage everything you have. If you're on a podcast, ask the podcast host, hey, can you introduce me to another one or two podcasts? Then take that podcast, put it on your website. If you go to the Success Core website and you look under the tab Guest Cast, you will see every single episode of every single podcast that I've ever been on listed on my website. That's social proof. I'm taking that podcast and putting it forever on my website. That helps the podcast host, and it helps me. I take every testimonial, put it on YouTube, and then it goes to Facebook. Why? Because I'm leveraging that testimonial. Okay? Then, if you're speaking, say, hey, event planner, who else should I be speaking with? What are the decision makers? If you're at a college, if you're at a high school, wherever, always ask, who should I be speaking with? Who is the people, who are the decision makers that I need to be talking with? And that will leverage that moment, right? And then always follow up. So if you have any questions about how to leverage anything, your book. Okay, so for example, let me give one more tip and then I gotta go. Okay, so your book, okay? This is I'm gonna go speak somewhere, okay? This is Douglas Vermeen's book, Know Your Audience. It's an amazing book. Take this book and say, oh, you don't have a budget at your high school or college or event, whatever. You don't pay your speakers? Oh, well, I have a book. Would you consider buying 50 copies of my book and giving 50 copies to the audience? Sometimes they say yes. Oh, high school, I don't have a budget to book a speaker. Okay, what colleges and high schools do have is an appropriations budget or a materials budget. So, oh, you don't have enough budget to book me as a speaker for $3,000. Okay, would you consider buying 300 copies of my book at $10? Can you buy 300 copies to give them to all of the seniors that I'll be speaking to? Would you want to do that? Can you use your materials budget or an appropriations budget in order to buy copies of my book, and that will serve as a speaking fee? Sometimes they say yes. Sometimes they say, no, we're not going to buy your book either. Then you say, have a nice day. I don't want to speak there. Unless you're brand new and you just need the stage time. There comes a moment in time and a point in your career where you stop doing things for free. Right? So when you speak for free, which I never, ever, ever speak for free, if I choose to waive my fee, which is what you need to be speaking as, I did not speak for free. I waived my fee. So once you say I spoke for free, then you're known and branded as a free speaker. Now, if you say, well, no, I did not get booked to speak there for a payment or whatever. I did not get paid to speak there. I chose to waive my fee. You tell people I waived my fee because you have a choice. Like I went to Ever Gonzalez's Outlier Podcast Festival and I waived my fee. I can say, no, Ever, you must pay me. He can say, no, Sean, go fuck yourself. And be like, okay then. So because Ever and I are friends and I really wanted to speak at his event, he said, come speak. And I said, heck yeah, I'll waive my fee. And then I waived my fee because that's what I wanted to do. I chose to go to that event and speak. And I understood that there was no payment to be made at that event. And so, therefore, I waived my fee. If you don't want to waive your fee, then I guess you're not speaking there. It's as simple as that. So, get in the habit of saying, I waived my fee, not I spoke for free, because then you're known as the free speaker and then your brand is not good because people get around that. Oh, book this guy. He's free. He'll do it for free. Okay. Anyway, if you need any help leveraging anything, if you need anything at all, please get in contact with me. Please get in contact with me. I'd love to help you in any way. And, I'm booked on 60 shows, podcasts. I'm booked on like 50 is my goal. I'm booked on 50 podcasts every year. Not one time have I ever submitted a one sheet. Why? Because I don't have one. I don't have a media sheet. I don't have a one sheet. I was booked on local news at like 6:40 in the morning last November, and Veterans Day, I was booked on the news, literally on the news, in the morning news. And I didn't send them a one sheet. I literally emailed them and said, hey, I am a U.S. Air Force veteran. I would love to do a veterans themed show to alert everybody about veteran suicide, veteran homelessness, and what veterans are facing today. I really want to do that. And they said, love it. Come on the show. I did not send them a one sheet. I provided them value in what I would talk about specifically because it was Veterans Day. And so Memorial Day is coming up and Independence Day and every other, like if it's Women's History Month, women should be going out and leveraging women in business or whatever to the news to get booked on the news. Okay. Leverage the time of year it is and leverage what you can give as knowledge and whatever else. Okay. So do that. Okay. Anyway, that's all I have. That's all I have to say about that. If you need anything, please let me know. I would love to work with you. I have a lot of different ways that I can position you. I can, get you booked on podcasts and get you booked to speak. And, let's just have a conversation. Whatever you're struggling with, I know, guaranteed, that I can help you. Whatever you're struggling with, if you need more leads, if you need monetization, if you need to position yourself better in the marketplace so that you can become more profitable, I know that I can help you. So let's have a conversation. If you want to get booked on stage, if you want to get booked on podcasts, if you want to make more money by leveraging the things that you have already, then come talk to me. This is what I do. This is what I help people with. So would love to have a conversation with you. And if you feel inclined to, I have a Facebook group called The Success Core, CORPS. If you search on Facebook in my group, The Success Core, I drop massive value in there, and I'm going to be dropping some call for speakers and events that are looking for speakers. I'm going to drop them only, not on my profile. I'm going to drop them in the Success Core Facebook group only. And I want more engagement in that group, and I want to grow it full of content creators and badasses. That's what I want to grow the community for, the Success Core. So now I'm going to be dropping different ways that you can leverage, different ways that you can position yourself, and different ways that you can get booked on podcasts and booked on stage, and different opportunities for online summits so that you can leverage your brilliance and whatever you are doing. All right? So if you want to have a conversation and you want to revolutionize your life and what you're doing, then say yes, figure it out, and come talk to me. Or keep going down the path that you're going on and use this as a marketing strategy. That's your choices. Come have a conversation with me or pray that what you're using works. I know what I use works. So let's have a conversation. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm all over social media on Facebook. My group is The Success Core, CORPS. I'd love to see you there, and have an amazing, amazing night because you are worth it.